Hello, today I want to talk about why young people feel hopeless about money and how to change that. I have a few young friends and family members, and I often try to spark the interest about investing, the stock market, or starting new ventures. And guess what? I usually get ignored, an eye roll, or completely dismissed. When I came to Canada 25 years ago, I came as an immigrant and I came with lots of ambitions. I wanted to become a millionaire and I wanted to learn as much as possible about investing. Well, guess what? I am not a millionaire yet, but along the way I have learned a few things about investing. So I am surprised that my young friends don't share any of the same interests that I had when I was younger at their age. I think that young people are disillusioned regarding traditional financial goals such as planning for retirement or buying a house. I think this attitude is shaped by different factors. Among them, housing. There is a huge housing problem in North America, in Canada, and in the United States. Whether you are planning to buy or to rent a unit, it just seems to be out of reach. Also, education. Education was supposed to be the passport for a better life, but education is so expensive and it's not a guarantee that it will really get you a better job. And finally, healthcare. Healthcare is also has a two-tier system. If you don't have money, you get a mediocre healthcare system, at least in Canada. And then, of course, if you have money, you get top-notch, the best healthcare that you can imagine. North America is the place where people can get the best healthcare in the world if they can afford it. In addition, wages are not keeping up with inflation. It just doesn't matter how much you work. It seems that it's never enough to cover your basic cost of living. And then the economy, we have a booming economy, and then we have an economy that is declining, so on and so forth. And for people like me who have been trading and participating in the market for a long time, I see this as normal. But for a young person to see a boom and then a bust, that creates so much uncertainty and insecurity that it makes planning for the financial life almost useless. In addition to that, young people are constantly bombarded with advertisements. They are incentivized to buy the latest electronic gadget or to keep up with particular lifestyle that is out of reach. So this also makes them feel frustrated. They see in Instagram or Facebook or whatever, in social media, people who seem to be having it all together. Well, that's not the truth. Many people who post an ideal lifestyle, they are not really living an ideal lifestyle, but this is what we see. So we compare ourselves with the life of others and we feel completely inadequate. For all these reasons, the classic idea of work hard, save, and retire, it seems so out of touch. It just seems almost irrelevant. Who have time for that? Now, the stock market has become more accessible to people through technologies. There are all kinds of apps, for example, Robinhood and the likes, that make it easy for a young person to invest. But there is a misconception. They try to sell the idea that you can buy one of these meme stocks and that you will double or quadruple your money in less than a year, which is not true. So people who get into these apps, they have this fantasy that they can put $1,000 and by the end of the year they will have $5,000 back, and this is all BS. Yes, it has happened to a few people. It's almost like winning the lottery. Someone always wins the lottery, but for the most case, it just brings to losing money and dissatisfaction and a feeling of failure. So when I talk to young people and I tell them, hey, if you put your money in the Standard & Poor's 500, which is the average of the 500 biggest corporations in the United States, or something similar for the Canadian stock market, and I tell them you can earn a whopping 8% on average, over a 10-year period, they say, so what? I'm struggling to pay my rent right now. 8% is not going to change anything in my life. So they just dismiss the idea as totally irrelevant for them. Now, there is a certain segment of young investors or young persons who are interested in investing in the stock market. But guess what? When they do a little bit of research, they just are confronted with an avalanche of information and jargon and misleading information. They often get approached by financial advisors who offer them products at a high management fee. This kind of product that will benefit the advisor but not the person that they are trying to help. In fact, they are not really trying to help, they are just trying to leech out of these poor young people's little income to grow their portfolios and to charge more fees. So it is very difficult as a young investor, as a person who is interested about the stock market, to find the kind of information that is relevant for them, because there is all this jargon, because there is all this misinformation. Now, there is a persistent myth as well that in order to create wealth, you have to invest in real estate. And guess what? This is a myth. It really doesn't work out. Property prices are high, taxes, maintenance, repair, dealing with tenants, or what give. All this takes away from the potential profit. And if a young person ends up investing in real estate, that is also going to leave them disillusioned, because actually the profits are not there, or they are just so slim that compared to the amount of investment and emotional labor that you had to put in, it's just not worth it. But guess what? Because of this misinformation, because of this myth of real estate being a good investment, people in the bottom 50% of society, they have almost all the wealth in real estate. An investment is growing at the best at the same rate of inflation, 2-3% per year. Wow! People who know better, the top 10% of society's earners, they have almost all their money in the stock market or investments or things of that nature, something that are more liquid and that in fact they produce a much higher return with less headache and less labor. So I believe that we can do a better job educating young people. I think that financial literacy should be a mandatory subject in school, in high school. I mean, I went to high school and I was doing calculus and physics and all kind of things that I would never use in my life. But I was never taught how to make an investment, how to research, how to save money, how to keep a budget, and all this information is essential. So I think there had to be a mind shift. Instead of studying calculus and physics or gender studies or whatever, there should be a class, maybe the last 3 years of high school, on how to invest your money, what to do with your money, how to create a budget, what investments, or how to compare one investment versus the other one, and how to build wealth over a long period of time, because everyone is going to get paid for their labor. And what do you do with that money? Do you go and buy another electric gadget, or do you put a little bit apart on your savings account and your investment account to prepare yourself for retirement, to buy that property, to do something useful with your money? Now, I would like to turn the question to you. Can you please write in the comments, how will you inspire young people to become interested in the stock market? What strategies or approaches will you use to create excitement about these financial matters? Let me know in the comments, and until soon. Goodbye. Peace.